Hi guys, today we're going to be working with factorization with our fractions and simplifying. Okay, so you need to have a good understanding of factorization in order to be able to do this. Let's jump right into it. So you look at number 10, and here first thing we need to do is square this right here. And if I have, so we're going to have x to the power 4 minus, right, and negative x squared times negative x squared will give us, negative x times negative x will give us x squared. Okay, and now that I have x squared times this negative is then just going to give me x squared, and this is all going to be over negative x squared. We can then look at the top and we can see that we can take a common factor out of x squared. So I have x squared into x squared minus 1, and then that there is going to be over negative x squared. Now these two x squareds cancel out and I'll be left with negative 1. So if I divide by negative 1, it's the same as multiplying by a negative on the top. So I'm going to have negative into x squared minus 1, and that will then give me negative x squared plus 1. If they want you to then factorize this, you'll just get 1 minus x squared. This is not generally needed for these questions, so I get 1 plus x into 1 minus x. And that is how we're going to do our first question. There's a lot of difference on two squares questions here. If you'd like questions where you're doing the other types of factorizations, please let me know down in the comments. So let's move on to our next one. So here I have 16p to the power 4 minus 1. There's no common factor I can remove from there, so I'm just going to leave it as is. Over 4p squared minus 1. If I'm multiplying, I can divide it, I can apply the reciprocal, which means I will flip these and I'll make it a multiplication. So I'm going to get 4p squared plus 1. Okay, and then now on my numerator here, I have a difference of two squares, so I'm going to have open brackets 4p squared plus 1 into 4p squared minus 1. Okay, and then I have a 4p squared minus 1 here. You can see that this is going to cancel out with this, and I'll have times 4p squared plus 1, which will then mean I have 4p squared plus 1 into 4p squared plus 1, which will just be 4p squared plus 1 all squared. If the question is to fully simplify, then we have to simplify this into 16p to the power 4 plus 8p squared, and then we're going to square the last one plus 1. I do have other videos explaining how to do this. You can check it out on the channel. So now let's go on to our last question right here. So we have a situation where we can remove a common factor. Okay, and the common factor we can remove here, 8, 16, 16 can go into 32, so it's 8. We'll go 8 into 8x squared into x to the power 4 minus 4 into 12x to the power 4 into x squared plus 2. And then now we can cancel off some terms here. If I cancel off this 12 with this 8. I'm left with 4 goes into 8 2 times, 4 goes into 12 3 times. This x squared and this now we get an x squared here. And then we'll continue. We need to factorize the top portion. So now this is going to be 2 into x plus 2 into x minus 2. X squared. So now we have an x squared plus 2. We can now cancel these off. And now, so we have 3x squared into this. And now I'm left with 2 into x squared minus 2 over 3x squared. Now the question is fully simplified. We have to multiply that out. 2x squared minus 4 over 3x squared. Before you go, let's just go through the steps we're going to look at for this. Our first thing we're going to do always is see if we can remove a common factor. So that's step 1. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to see if we can factorize. And then you need to make sure you're working on multiplication if there is multiplication in the fractions. So this is in the case where you have a fraction divided by another fraction, and then you must make it be the reciprocal. So we're going to reciprocate here times x over y, and that'll be x squared over y squared. Okay. The next thing, after you remove a common factor, you factorize, you make sure you're working on multiplication. The final step is to just now cancel off. And then finally, we want to be able to simplify. So let's make a quick acronym for this. We're going to we're going to R F M C S. Arithmetics. We're going to arithmetics. Right? You can making these processes is really helpful, even if it doesn't make sense. If it's funny like arithmetics, it does help. Another video we use Saxi, whatever processes, whatever techniques you can use. If you have other ideas on how you can do it, leave a comment down below. And as always, practice, practice, practice. All the best, guys.